10 days. And lucky for me, it wasn't. I got the opportunity to play in a bunch of vetoes. I got lucky to play in a whole bunch of other things. But you really got to be yourself. And if you get a chance to do an open casting call, that's awesome. Like, get to an open casting call, because that's how I got my start. I went unexpectedly to an open casting call, and that's how I got my start. I ended up, it actually started even before. Like, I ended up interacting with some of the people that were on the casting thing while we were waiting in the bar, and I let them know that we were waiting there, and they ended up, you know, realizing that the line didn't start where they thought we were going to start. So they came over, they got me and a couple other girls, and they kind of put us to the front of the line. And that kind of started it for me, because that's kind of how I am. Like, I get into a place and I try and meet people, and I try and you know, get the ins and outs of a place like that. And I kind of did. I went in there, I asked the bartender right away, like, all right, who's in charge here? And the bartender was like, oh, it's that person over there. So I ended up talking to that person. I ended up talking to two girls that had been to multiple open casting calls at that time. And they said, like, all right, here we go. Let's get this done. And I was lucky enough to get in there. And I was number 13 at my open casting call. And there were hundreds and hundreds of people in line. Like, we ended up getting pushed up to the front of the line, all because I just was being super personable and made it a point to seek out who was working in the crew, in the casting crew, even if it was just the person grabbing coffees or grabbing lunch. You know, those are the people that, like, you talk to them. Hey, what are you doing? Hey, how you doing? What's going on here? So that's a good way to get a good start. If you get to an open casting call, that might be something you want to do. Seek out, look around, see who you think is working there, and then go and talk to them and be like, hey, I'm in line, but is there a better place to be in line right now? Like, come on, like, you know, I went here, I went there, like, and start it there. Like, be super personal. In line, be super personable. Don't just stand there in line and not talk to anybody. You know, start talking to people right away. I'll give the story about, you know, my friend. If we get up to like 25 people in the live, I'll give the story on my casting and how it went, and it was pretty funny. So I wish I could apply in Ireland. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you can't. There's no Big Brother Ireland. There's Big Brother, I know, Brazil, and there's Big Brother Canada. I think there was Big Brother Australia. I'm not even sure. But can you apply to play on Big Brother again, or do they have to pick you to play again? I mean, I honestly, they would have to probably call me. Like, if they saw my video, they would probably just put it right into the junk mail. But yeah, I would assume that they would have to call you. I don't know how it works as far as like that goes. I didn't play the game very well, so I honestly wouldn't be considered like an all-star or anything. You're probably going to see someone like, you know, hopefully you see like Quinn get another shot at it from my cast. Hopefully you see, I'd like to see Matt get another shot at it. Matt was super personable. He just kind of got unlucky with how things fell in week one. But I'd like to see Leah get another shot at it. She was super fun in the house. Even Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn was kind of, she should have been in there a little bit longer. So pretty cool to be in the house. And see how it goes. But so we're talking casting right now, and again, if you are, no, this thing keeps moving around because I got it on my hand. I was trying to get it in the background, but it didn't look really good, and I couldn't get the whole thing in there, so I put it on my hand, which I thought was a pretty cool thing. And I'm trying to read some of these comments. You'd eat it up. Hopefully you're talking about the game and not this poster. Wouldn't be very tasty. So we'll talk about casting, and if you do love Big Brother, or you think that you'd be good at the game, I mean, there was people in the game that really didn't know the game that much. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to get cast on a show, you have to go back on Paramount Plus and try and figure it out and watch the game. I mean, I watch most seasons. I didn't really watch the early on seasons because I know the game has really changed from you know, the first like 10 seasons to how it's been the last 10 seasons. So I kind of really didn't pay too much attention to those areas of the game. I really wish I would have had the ability to watch more lives to see what was going on in the house. And I'm not super tech savvy, but I did learn in the house from Quinn and a couple other people that you can YouTube some of the old players, and they'll give you tips on packing and tips on getting ready to go into the house if you're selected. I didn't have that option. I wish I did. I wish I might have to do a YouTube on if you get in the house, mentally, how you have to prepare yourself mentally, especially if you're older and you have kids and you have a career to go back to, because those are a lot of factors that I really didn't put into play until I got in the house. And once I got in the house, I was like, oh shit, like I'm on TV 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I got a microphone. They keep telling me to change my batteries. Like, they listen to everything I say. Follow me in the bathroom, follow me to the shower, watching me sleep. It's easy to say here on the outside and look at it and be like, wow, that's what happens on Big Brother. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, of course you know, but until you actually are like immersed in it, you don't get the full understanding of like how the game is. Some people did, like Quinn. I think Quinn handled it unbelievable getting into the house. I think he's told the story before. He was told like a couple of weeks before that he wasn't cast, and then he was called back and was like, oh, well, yeah, we are going to cast you. So there's those things right there, like the mind games of them, making you go through all these interviews and things like that, and all the other stuff that goes along with getting on a show like this. Is tough, and especially, oh, thank you. Oh, I can't do it. I can't do hearts with this. I don't know if I can shut this off, but give me a heart. Mentally, going through it, I think I was saying, like, it's tough. Like, you just don't know what to expect. And I really thought, me being older and been, deployed to Afghanistan and to other parts of the country and being away from my family, that it was going to be okay. Like, I take a week, like, get your mind in check, like, do your misses, and then, game on. Let's go to work. And that was kind of tough. I will say this, it wasn't going to work. And all the other times that I've deployed or been away from home for an extended period of time, it was always for work, and it was always for somebody else. It was always for the better of somebody else. It was always for, whether it was doing undercover work, I was taking drugs off the street. Whether it was, deploying to Afghanistan, I was protecting, the citizens of our country, and feeling as though like I'm contributing to keeping terrorism off of the shores of the United States. Being in the Brother House was all about me. It was all about me doing something, and me winning money, and me winning a competition. And I'm really not that person. I'm not about me. I'm always about trying to help other people and trying to make other people's days better and things like that. So that was also difficult. So I'm up to 22 people. You guys want to hear my casting story? Do you want to hear my first casting story? If I get a couple of thumbs up or a couple of hearts, I'll tell the story. There's a couple hearts. All right, I got 2 hearts. All right, my first casting story was at Ned Devine's. It's a bar in what's called Faneuil Hall or Quincy Market in Boston. My wife's friends called me up and said, hey, you're working right down the street, 3 o'clock, there's a casting call at Ned Devine's, you should go. And I was like, nope, not going to do it. So I decide, all right, let me go see the line. So I go to Ned Devine's like around lunchtime. I walk in the bar, and there's really not that many people in the bar. I'm like looking around, I'm like, wow, not a lot of people here. Let's see how this goes. And I go up to the bar, and there's 2 girls. There's a young girl who's probably like between like 21 and 25, and there's another girl to my right. She's probably about 30, 35 years old. And I'm 48 at the time. So I asked them, hey, is this where we're gonna be for the Big Brother casting? And they're like, yep, we think this is where it is, but we're not sure where the line is. I go, there's not really that many people there. And the girl's like, I know, there's not many people there. If you're familiar with Faneuil Hall and Ned Devine's, it's a big food hall. Huge. It's like 2 football fields long. But it's got a floor downstairs and a floor upstairs. So Ned Devine's is at the end of that food hall, and we were on the 2nd floor, and in the middle of the food hall, there's a big like area where people can sit and everything, and there's stairs that go up to the back of Ned Devine's. Well, ask the bartender, I go, hey, bartender, can you tell me, like, where is the Big Brother casting call? I need to know where the Big Brother cast goes. She's like, oh, it's, yeah, you're in the right place. It is here. I don't know how they're doing it. They haven't really said much to us. I go, all right, well, tell me, who's in charge? Like, who's in charge here? So she pointed over to a young kid that was kind of, like, running all around. He was, like, coming in and out of the back. And I was like, yo, hey, I called him over to the bar, and I asked him, and I said, hey, is this where the big brother thing is? And he was like, yeah, this is where it is. I go, hey, well, it doesn't look like there's that many people here. Where's the line? Is it here? Is it over there? And the kid is like, oh, no, we're not too sure. It depends on how many people show up. We might start the line over here. We might start the line on the other side. So I said, hey, listen, she was here first. She was here second. I was here third. You know, we're going to sit here and have a couple of drinks. Can you please let us know as soon as you know? He's like, yeah. So the afternoon kind of got away from me. Had several drinks with these girls, and next thing you know, he comes back over. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. The line's starting on the other side. So he takes the three of us, he shuffles us through the back of Ned Devine's, and we come out the other side, and lo and behold, the line is like hundreds of people long. It's like down the stairs, wrapped around into the food court, and I'm like, holy shit. But he ushered us right up to the front group just before the doors open. The doors open, they hand out pieces of paper, and I got 13. So I was like, oh, number 13. So they put us in this we all started going to this big room. It's like a big dance floor area. So obviously they're bringing us in probably like, 40 or 50 at a time. Well, I'm in the first kind of group that goes into the room. Fill out the form. It's real brief, like name, contact information, things like that. And I fill that out real quick, and I wait. They send 10 people. They send 10 people in, and then I was in the next 10. So they send you all in 10 together into a room, and they say, all right, the game starts now. Game starts now. Like, be careful what you say, what you do. You could be cast with somebody, in this group. So I'm like, okay. Now keep in mind, I'm feeling pretty good right now. Like I've already had, a couple of drinks, maybe a shot or two. So I'm feeling, I got a good buzz on. I don't recommend it, but that's kind of like, I'm not a big drinker. So I had a little bit of a buzz, I'm not gonna lie. So we get called in, our group comes in, they give the 10 of us, and then they break us up. They put 5 people to the left, 5 people to the right, and there's a high top bar table there with one casting producer on the other side, and they put 5 of us together. So we get to the table, and she shuffles up the papers, and it's just pure luck. I got called first. If I got called last, they probably wouldn't even have recognized me, but they called me first, and they're like, hey, Kenny, why do you think you'd be good on Big Brother? So I go into my little spiel. I say, I know I'm a little older, but I'm kind of a chameleon. I can fit into a lot of different situations. It doesn't matter if the people are young or the people are old. I hold conversations very well. I like to tell stories. I like to make people comfortable. I like to make people uncomfortable. A lot of times I say bizarre shit, and I go on like for about, and I just don't stop talking until she shuts me up. She's like, oh, okay, all right. Then she moves on to the next person. I can't remember his name. Young Spanish kid, very good looking, and he is sweating. And he starts going into spiel. She's like, all right, why do you think you'd be good? And he was like, well, I'm kind of a chameleon. I fit in many situations. And I immediately interrupted him. I'm like, whoa, that sounds really familiar. Like maybe I just said that 30 seconds ago. And the kid freaks out. And he starts like crying. He gets upset, and now I just start laughing because I don't know what to do. So it's pretty funny in that situation. So this kid loses it right there. Boom, he's gone. He's out. The next girl, she's like probably 21, 22 years old, and she starts going about that. She says, well, how would you play the game, to the girl? And the girl says, well, I would play the game because I'm going to go in there and obviously I'm young, I'm pretty, I'm going to get into a relationship with 2 of the most athletic men in the house. And I'm going to have a relationship with the 2 of them, and then they're going to keep me and carry me to the end. And I was like, whoa. I interrupt her. I'm like, you're not going to do that. No, I'm a father. I have 2 daughters. Like, yeah, that's not going to happen. You're going to be on live TV. People are going to see you all the time. Like, this isn't going to be able to be edited. And that's a horrible idea. You have parents, you have family, and I forbid you from doing that. And she like immediately like shuts up and she's stunned. She doesn't even know what to say. So they go to the next person, and that person's rambling on, like not even making any sense whatsoever. And I interrupted again. I go, this is the time where the music starts playing in the Grammys when you have to wrap it up. And I go, I gotta get back to work. Let's go, dude. Wrap it up. And the casting producer's really not saying anything. She's kind of just letting me go. And I just had a good time with it. Like, I had a good time, like, kind of, like, picking fun at everybody else and kind of eliminating them from the game. And that wasn't a plan going in. It just happened. Like, it just naturally happened because I went first. The kid repeated my comments that I said, and it just happened in my casting. And I was like, I just thought I crushed it. And I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, so it wraps up. They all finish. And the casting producer says, hey, you know what? Thank you for your time. I hope, we'll, basically she said, don't call us, we'll call you. A lot of people to interview. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I turn around, we all start to walk away. And as I turn around, I come back and I give her the lucky number 13, best decision you'll ever make. And the casting lady, who now, well, I don't know if she does casting for Big Brother anymore, but I have had other conversations with her, and we laughed about it because she looked at me like I was the biggest idiot on the planet. Like, she looked at me and was like, what is this guy doing? Best decision I'll ever make. Like, she didn't say it, but just her eyes. Like, it was like a situation like when you're younger and you're at the bar and you're talking to a girl and you think like things are going really good, and then you're like, hey, can I get your number? And she's like, yeah, no. So it was like that. So I kind of was crushed walking out of the open casting. And this was on a Friday. I ended up going home, seeing my wife. She was like, you did the casting? I was like, yeah. So she tells me how it goes. I tell her everything that I do, like everything, up until the point where I was like, yep, I gave her the old finger snap, pointed at her, lucky number 13, best decision you'll ever make. And she was like, what happened? I go, she looked at me like I was an idiot. She was like, yeah, you are an idiot. Why would you say that? That's so stupid, blah, 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 blah. So my wife kind of like lays into me a little bit. And I'm not going to say the person's name who's the casting person, because I didn't do really well on Big Brother and I don't want him to get in trouble, or I don't want him to get any hate mail, which I don't think he will. But that was on a Friday. Monday morning, I'm at work, my phone rings, I look and I go, it's a California number. I go, no. I said to myself, no fucking way. So the person is, hey, this Kenny? I'm like, hey, this is so-and-so from Big Brother, right? And he was like, yeah, how'd you know that? Like, I was like, I know everything. Like, I kind of just like, made a joke about it. And he was like, well, just so you know, like, we talked about when we got back from the open casting, we really talked about you. We thought you had a great open casting. Like, we're interested in you. Is this something you really want to do? And I said, oh yeah, absolutely. Obviously this was a long time. This was 5-6 years ago. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Season 21. Let's go. So that started the whole process. I ended up making it to like the semifinals that year on the casting. And they called me up one day and they said, hey, we absolutely love you. You got a lot of energy. You tell a great story. Your videos are unbelievable. Your casting was great. But last year we had Steve, who was a retired NYPD police officer. I said, yeah, nope, I watched the season. They said, and we just don't want to put a cop on 2 years in a row. And I said, oh, no, I appreciate that. It's all good. Like, I appreciate the opportunity, and that started my Big Brother career. So, or my Big Brother process of getting onto reality type TV. So just that open casting. And then I ended up, not really, I wouldn't say had a relationship, but I became friendly with the person who was doing that. And a lot of the casting people do other cast for other shows too. So over the next year or two, I was asked like if I was interested in this show or that show, and a couple of them I ended up like applying for or doing Zooms and interviews for. I never was really about getting on any other show besides Big Brother. So I kind of was never really like all in, but I kind of used it as practice. I kind of used it as, hey, an opportunity to get in front of a camera, talk to people, and get my spiel down and feeling more comfortable talking in front of a camera. And that's the big thing. Casting. You're going for casting? You're going for casting right now? Go on lives. Do lives. I don't care if you have 10 followers or if you have 1,000 followers. Just go on live and talk and like try and like stay fluent in when you're talking. Like no and ahs and thinking about it and not too sure and stuttering. Well, I mean, if you stutter, that's okay, because that could work in your favor too, but it can't be a fake. It can't be fake. So cough, cough, Survivor. Yeah, no, I don't do Survivor very well. I can't light a fire. I was in the military. I actually took a survival course when I was young in the military, and I couldn't eat a fire. I couldn't bake a fire, and I couldn't eat rabbits. So we had to eat a rabbit. We didn't have to kill the rabbit, but we had to skin it, and I had a hard time with that, so I couldn't do that. But going back to casting. So yes, your ability to tell a story is probably the biggest thing on Big Brother. So when you talk about yourself like it's a book. So talk like, hey, I was born in Boston, Massachusetts. I grew up in a, say a single father home or a single mom home, or I had both parents. I had 2 older siblings. I was always picked on. Like, I was always the one coming from the bottom, trying to win everything, but I was younger. Or if I was older, I loved, being able to dominate my younger brothers or sisters in all the sports, and whether it was, playing cards or Monopoly or basketball. So you want to tell a story and tell the story about yourself. And you might not think it's interesting. Like, you might not think your story's interesting, but how you tell your story could really capture one of the casting people. And if you are a fan of Big Brother, which I'm sure if you're following me, you are, the diary room is a huge part of the show. And you be able to go in there and talk about what happened during the day, or what's going to happen coming up in these competitions. Like, how do you feel? Like, do you want to win it? Do you not want to win it? Are you gonna throw the competition? Do you want to make sure like Angela doesn't win it, or Brooklyn doesn't win it, or Tucker doesn't want to win it? Like, you have to be able to like come up with these things, and you can't be like thinking. Like, you can't just sit back and be like, let me think about that question. When you start doing when they ask you a question, whether it's open casting or if it's on a Zoom or some type of video situation, you can't wait. You can't stutter like I just did a little minute ago. Like, you have to just go right into it. Like, hey, what do you think? How are you going to play on Big Brother? Me? I'm going to play unbelievable on Big Brother. I'm going to get in that house. I'm going to round up who I need to round up to be on my team, and we're going to go and we're going to dominate the game. That's not really what happened to me, but my plan going in did kind of fall into play, and I talked about that in my Big Brother. One of the other things I did in one of the seasons that I was going for, my big thing was about the money. It was $500,000 at the time, and I kept saying like, hey, it's about time, Big Brother, reach down in the wallet, pull a little bit more money, because $500,000 on season 1, 2, 3, 4 is not the same $500,000 that will be on season 23, 24, and 25. So let's go, pick up the prize money. And that was a year that I didn't get on, but funny story, I got a call from the casting people, and they were like, hey, Kenny, bad news, you're not going to go past to the finals. But we appreciate it again. But hey, just so you know, like the money's going up to $750,000, and I'm like, son of a bitch, you took my shit. Like, I don't know if anybody else did, someone else could have easily talked about that too, but that was one of my big things when I was doing it, and I would always get a chuckle or a laugh from some of the producers during that. And it's so tough because they're listening to so many people, and there's probably really nothing that you're going to say to them that they haven't heard over the last 26 seasons. So really just be yourself. Like, they probably already heard it before, but how did they hear it? Did they hear it from like me, who was like, super like upbeat? Or did they hear it from somebody who was like, yeah, no, I think I'm gonna do really good. Like, I really think they don't want that. They want excitement. They want Tuckers. They want, people that are going to be exciting in the diary room. And I think I was really good the first couple of weeks in the diary room until, obviously emotions get to the best of you. But in the diary room, I felt really good. Like, I was crushing it in the diary room. I was going in there and I was like, I wasn't stuttering. I was doing it as best I could. I mean, and obviously they do some editing, in the diary room, and they get the words that they need to get. But there was times that I would just go on and on and on, especially like when I won the veto, or when I was on the block, and when I was upset. You have to be really good with being able to express that on camera, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for people who can express it. Like, you can be whatever you are. A comp beast, you can do puzzles really good, but if you can't explain why you're so good at puzzles, or if you can't explain why you're going to be a comp beast, then it really doesn't matter, because they need to put it all together. So if you're going to be a comp beast, you got to be like, hey, no, I work out fucking 7 days a week, I bench this, like, I do CrossFit, I do that, like, I'm going to be a comp beast. Hey, I might not be the smartest person in the room, I'm not going to be able to do a puzzle, but when it comes to the wall, that's my game. Like, that wall is my game. And I'm kind of disappointed in myself, because there was 2 games that I really wanted to do in the Big Brother house. One was like the hide and seek game where you hide the key. Well, this year they hid the microchip, and I wanted to do the wall, and I missed the microchip hiding thing by 1 week. That was the next week, and I'm kind of pissed at myself that I didn't fight to do it. And it's obviously, I regret the fact that I even mentioned in the house, like, I'm good with going home. Like, I mentioned that in the house, and that's a regret that I will always have, because I know I could have lasted more. But it's so much easier saying now out of the house. When you're in the house and you're missing your kids and you're missing your wife and you're missing, your life back home and your friends and things like that, it seems like it's never going to end. And again, 53 years old, I never expected that was going to happen to me. So if you are in the middle of the casting process right now, or you're thinking that you want to do this, get in your head. Get in your head. Actually, put your phone down every once in a while too. Like, take away social media, take away the TV. Like, take a weekend and be like, you know what? For this whole weekend, I'm not going to touch my phone. I'm not going to look at the TV. I'm not going to email anybody. I'm going to kind of just like, veg out. I mean, you don't have to like seclude yourself and be crazy. You might drive yourself crazy, but you want to do that. So again, people that are just joining, Big Brother 27, full steam ahead in casting. The casting people are unbelievable. They know what they got to do. And if you get close, they're going to be hard on you. They're going to be like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this. Like, come on, keep it upbeat. Oh yeah, be smart about your social media. I will say this, if you are looking to be on Big Brother, they're going to find it. They are going to find it. If you posted something derogatory, even if you made fun of somebody, or if you made some type of racial slur, that's a no-no, man. And I was so confident that they weren't going to find anything in any of my social media, and they didn't, which was funny, because when I got home, some of the stuff my wife told me, she was like, oh, they were going crazy on Twitter or X. They were they were going crazy about you being a cop and being in Boston and being a white guy. And then they were really searching. They were like openly saying like, hey, we're trying to find something to cancel him. And then they were coming back with, hey, no, Kenny, we can't find anything to cancel him. We can't find anything. Like, there's nothing on his social media. Oh, his wife is black. He has mixed kids. Like, so, and then it took a turn for the better for me, which I wish I had known that, which was tough. But yeah, that was a good point. I didn't really see who had put that up there, but yeah, your social media has to be clean, man. Has to be super, super clean. I was like, you guys don't want to keep Quinn. Look at keep me. I'm not even a threat. Quinn has an alliance with everybody here, and he has a power. So the next person that wins the HOH is not even going to be the HOH. You're just going to be nothing. Quinn's going to manipulate you and do all those things to you that, he did to everybody else. But I couldn't do that to Quinn. I love you, Quinn. But yeah, again, I'm sitting out here. I'm waiting for my daughter to get out of gymnastics. She gets out at 6 o'clock. Took the opportunity to go live in the car, hanging here. How long does the interview process work? It's a long time. Like, they're gonna start in April, so you got April, May, June. I think I was doing stuff in June. I think I started in April, May, June. And then they're constantly still looking for people. So even if you did really, really good in April and May, then this Quinn Martin, pops up in June, and he tosses you out of the spot that you thought you had. They're constantly looking. So it's a process. It is a process. You have to be committed to it. I kind of just got, I kind of got used to it because I did it so many times, and I did it for a couple of other shows. So I kind of knew what to expect. And probably this go around, I wasn't as, maybe this is why they picked me this year. I was like not in a hurry. Like, I kind of was like, before they were like, hey, we need you to do this, this, and this. And I would go home that night and be like, bum, 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 and I'd send it right in. And they'd be like, oh, we need to do this, this, and this. I was like, oh, yeah, let's go. And they'd be like, oh, we need to schedule for a Zoom. Okay, when's the first one? Give me the first one. I want to be the first one. I want to be the measuring stick. Now, that's actually something I did too, is I always wanted to be the measuring stick. So again, getting in the front of the line at casting is important, because if you can set the bar high, they're going to remember you. So get to the lines early. Like, get to that open casting call early, and make them remember you. Like, make them understand, like, this is who I am. But again, you don't want to be fake, because they'll sniff that out. They'll sniff that out. Like, you do so many interviews that if you are not being who you really are, at some point it's going to come out. So, Kenny, how did you manage the ant problem in the kitchen? Okay, so we see this every single year in the Big Brother house, the ant problem. My wife actually told me that. She was like, that's going to bother you, because I'm kind of a clean freak. And I was like, that's going to bother you. It actually didn't bother me. I kind of knew it was going to happen, and I was okay with it. And they were little sugar ants. They weren't like, they didn't bite. They weren't red ants. They weren't fire ants or anything like that. So they weren't really looking to do anything to me. And I was okay with it. Then they started moving over towards to where I slept. They started moving over towards the storage room. And I was like, I'm not worried about it. But we did a good job. We, as a team, did a good job spraying and putting the ant stuff down and stopping it from happening. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting why every single year there's ants. Like, come on, they can't figure that out. But that might be part of the social experiment, to be honest with you. That's probably part of it. I applied, never heard back. Will I just not hear back, or will they let me know? Yeah, you're not going to hear back unless they're interested. And even if they're interested, they might, reach back out to you, and then you don't hear from them for 2 or 3 weeks. There was times, even when I made it to the finals, that I didn't hear from anybody for 2 or 3 weeks. And then I would get a call and be like, all right, hey, we're going to schedule you for this, we're going to schedule you for that. So even if you do hear and you don't hear something for a couple of weeks, that doesn't necessarily mean you're out. But I looked at it as fun, just trying to do it. Like, if you're like, oh no, I got to get on the show, and it's going to be very disappointing for you. Just have fun with it. Have fun with the interviews. Have fun with the open casting. Have fun making the videos. And if it happens, it happens. If it happens, it happens. And for me, it happened. I kind of didn't think it was ever going to happen because I got turned down so many times. And then when it happened, I kind of was like not really prepared. If that makes sense to anybody. I always was waiting for them to come knocking on my door telling me that we're all set, we don't need you. Even when I was in sequester, they would come and knock on my door. I'm like, is this the food being delivered, or is this the producers telling me, here's your plane ticket, we're all set, we don't need you? Ashley went to the casting. Good. Ashley, I hope it went good for you. Did you see Quinn in Brooklyn and Cliff there? Hopefully you did. Maybe they gave you some tips. I'm not even sure if anybody went to open castings from my cast from season 25. I'm not sure if anybody did that. You had a Grace 3rd year. Keep going. I did 5 years. I was actually casting for another show just before they started casting for Big Brother 26, and I was a finalist for that show. And then when I was told that I wasn't gonna, that they want to be an alternate, I said I didn't want to be an alternate for the other show. And then wouldn't you know, like a week later, I got a call from Big Brother saying, hey, we kind of want you for this season. But I didn't believe them because they had said that to me numerous times before. So, but it happened. It's crazy. So I do wish I had a do-over. I don't want a do-over, but I wish I had a do-over, if that makes any sense to anybody, here on the live. Every time I want to record my audition tape, I forget what I want to say. Bree, turn it on and just go. Like, just turn it on and go. Drink a Red Bull if you like Red Bull. Get yourself feeling good, get some good rest, and put it on. Get a good background. I mean, there were times when I was doing videos where I put a couple of things up on the wall to like make sure, like, hey, make sure you tell them this story, or make sure you tell them that story. Make sure that you tell them, that you have 4 kids, like, because when you get on there, you're not too sure sometimes what you said or what you didn't say, and you really can't go back and edit it. But I mean, I guess you could. If you're pretty handy, you could probably go back and edit your video before you submit it. Celeste asking, did you submit a video? Yeah, I submitted a video every time. Even the times when they called me and said, hey, do you want to apply this year? And I was like, yeah, I definitely want to apply. They're like, all right, yeah, make your video, get your video in. So yeah, I made a video every year. If you leave stuff out, that's okay. Don't worry about leaving stuff out on your video, because you're not going to be able to get everything in. You're going to have numerous opportunities to, add stuff. Once you make the impression and you make it to the next stage, you're going to have the opportunity to do that. And you're probably going to be asked questions. They're going to say, well, you never said anything about your job. Like, let's talk about your job. What do you do? Like, I'm unemployed. I don't even do anything. I sit at home and play video games all day. They might like that. So, how did my employer take me? So the employee thing was pretty tough. So being a police officer, I was in a specialty unit, and it was not easy. But I've been on the job a long time, so I have a lot of vacation time and I have a lot of personal time that I really had built up. And especially when I became like so close the first time, I was like, all right, I got to be careful with my time. And then I knew I was going to apply the next year. I kind of started banking time. So I banked time to make sure that I had enough time. And obviously having a good reputation within my department, having a good working relationship with the city that I work for, and people knowing me and people knowing who I am, and knowing that I think I was a good worker. I sat down, I had conversations with them. I said, hey, if this happens, what do we do? Can I use my time? And this year I had just enough time banked up that I would have made it right to the end, which was pretty funny. What if you are not physically fit? Yeah, I mean, do you watch a show? Not everybody goes in there like physically fit. I mean, I would definitely, if you are interested in getting on the show, even if you're not like in the best shape, you should do some stuff, because some of this, you might get lucky. Like, let's talk about Candyland, the balance beam competition for the head of household week 3. Week 3 is I if you watch that, you know that I went all out. Like, I didn't throw that. Like, people knew that I was missing my family, I was missing my kids, but I did not throw that HOH. I came in second, and I actually practiced that. I practiced that in the gym. There was a couple of beams in the gym that I worked out in, and I would do that between sets. I would do the balance beam. I'd go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and that actually helped me. And I almost pulled that off. I almost pulled off Candyland. Imagine that with people like Tucker and Cedric and Cam, Division I athlete. Like, I almost pulled that off. I actually did really good. Someone was asking about slop. I don't have a problem with slop. I never was on slop for an extended period of time, but I'm a big oatmeal and stale oats person. I like that kind of stuff, and that's pretty much what it is. That's what pretty much slop is. And they did Tucker did an unbelievable job with slop. They turned it into pizza. There's certain ingredients that you can use. There's a rule book on the slop, and you probably saw me with the rule book a number of times. I was looking at the rule books about the have-nots. I was looking at the rule book about slop and what you could have and what you couldn't have. And they left a lot of stuff out that they didn't have in there. And I was trying to tell people in the house, I'm like, if it's not against the rule, if it's not in the rule book, just do it. And if they say that you can't do it, they're going to tell you. Like, you're not going to get thrown out of the house. If it says in the rule book that you, like, for instance, it didn't say anything in the rule book about bringing outside pillows into the have-not room. And there was a ton of pillows in a couple of the rooms. I was like, bring a pillow. Like, it doesn't say you can't. It said certain things, like, it did have certain things about it that you couldn't do. But there was like one of those ones with the pillows. I'm like, bring them in. I'd lay on the pillows. So, but the rule book is pretty extensive. They give it to you before, too, while you're in sequester. They never pick real people anymore, all influencer models. I mean, I am definitely not a model. I am 100% not a model. I thought I was a real person. I thought Quinn was a real person. I thought, Cedric Tucker was just a lunatic, who I love to death. But he had like so many different personalities as far as like accents and things like that. So he was kind of a great person to have in the house. Hey, Renee. Just got back from Nashville with Renee. Thanks for joining. Renee, you're not even going to give me a heart? You're not even going to tap your screen and give me a heart, Renee? Okay, I see how it is. So, Joseph was a real person. Yeah, Joseph, he was a super fan. Joseph was 100% a super fan, but real dude, real good guy. Like, I thought most of the people were real. Angela, without a doubt, is a real person. Like, that's not a character. Like, she was a huge fan, super excited to be there. All good. Oh, you just got here, huh? Okay, I appreciate it. You didn't have to give me a gift. You could just give me a heart. But thank you. Oh, Big Brother. Renee, you should put your videotape in for Big Brother. Now that you're retired, you can have that. So, but again, we're talking casting, Big Brother, full steam ahead. Big Brother 27. I'm super excited about the season because I know like what's happening right now. And this is the first time in 5 years that I'm not sitting on the edge of my seat or waiting for my phone to ring to tell me that I'm on the show or not on the show. So that's pretty interesting. Can you imagine 5 years? I was like, oh wow, am I gonna be on the show? And it'd always be like April, May, like end of May, June, that they'd be like, yeah, we don't need you. So how old are you? My dad's 51, thinks he's too old. Nah, he's not too old. I was 53. I'm 53 right now when I went in the house. So 53 when I went in the house. Definitely not too old. There's been people older than that. There's, Cherie, Mama Felicia, all people like, that are, about my age, maybe a little older, maybe a little bit younger. So age is just a number. Come on, Dad. Listen to your daughter. Just apply. How much did you make per episode? Yeah, I can't really say. They don't really let you talk about what the money is, just so you know. You do sign a lot of non-disclosures. So anything I really talk about here is something that's already been said. Even like, if you go on the internet right now and you Google it, what does a Big Brother player make? It's probably accurate. Favorite memory in the house? Obviously winning the veto. My favorite memory is winning the veto. Week 2, taking myself off the block. My other favorite memory is being able to, when I voted to try and get Angela out, I was the only one that voted for Angela to go out. But that was pretty cool because obviously that's iconic. You want to be able to talk to Julie live and give a shout out to your family when you go in to vote. So that was a pretty cool memory. Robin, you're asking me, do you regret leaving early? Yeah, I do. It takes a while to kind of sink in, but I do regret it. I know that I could have did more. I know I could have been a better player. If you watch the show, you saw bits and pieces of it. You saw sometimes I was having a good day and I was trying to build alliances and I was trying to win competitions. And then some days I was just like, I couldn't get out of the funk. It's tough. Like you're the old guy in the house, and sometimes you just need someone to rely on. And the problem is like my wife was my person. Like my wife was the person that no matter if anything good or bad happened, I immediately would get on the phone and call, text, or tell her. So even winning the the veto comp, like realistically, the first person that I wanted to call is my wife and be like, babe, I know you couldn't see this live, but I just won the veto. I can't wait till you see the episode on Wednesday. Like, and that was tough for me not to be able to do. So, you know what you're signing up for, really? I don't think you do. And if I've learned this by talking to a lot of the other past house guests, you really don't know what you're signing up for. Even think about Cherie, who was on Survivor, I think 5 or 6 times. She said in all her interviews, like she completely underestimated the Big Brother house. And that's a legend. That's a reality competition legend in Cherie, who, is an icon in Survivor. And she even said it was she didn't know what she was getting herself into when she got into it. And it's true. If you're implying that I walked out, you watch the edits a little bit too wrong. I didn't walk out. I said from day one that I was never gonna go. I would never self-evict, and I always said numerous times that if I go out, I'm going out the front door. I'd never go out the back door. So I know how the house went, and I know a lot more about what was going on in the house than most people do, which I keep to myself. But I'll tell you right now, I was never going to self-evict. I did say that I wasn't going to unpack my suitcase, and my plan was that if I ended up staying, that I was just going to live out of my suitcase for the next week, because I was getting sick and tired of unpacking my suitcase 3 weeks in a row. So that was kind of tough. I'll cast you, cowgirl. Got to keep trying though. Would you play Survivor? I would not play Survivor. Survivor, I can't say never. If they called and were like, hey, listen, we really, really want you, and there'd be an opportunity to redeem myself on a reality show, I would probably think about it, but it wouldn't be something that I would seek out, I don't think. Like I said before, I can't start a fire, and I'm not really good at living off of the land. Even though I was in the military, I was in the Air Force, and traders. Yes, absolutely. I would play traders in a second. So anyone out there from Studio Lambert, if you're watching, Studio Lambert, Sweet Kenny K would love to play traders. I've had conversations with people from Studio Lambert before, and they are super nice people. And I hope they remember me from some of my conversations that I had with them. And maybe they do call me. I would 100% do traders, unless I'm blacklisted. So unless the Big Brother people blacklisted me, which I doubt it, because they're all good. I think they understood. Too hot to handle. What is that? Danielle, what is too hot to handle? Now I'm confused. I don't even know what that is. Also, let me just, I'm gonna have to plug my phone. I don't know if this is gonna mess it up or not, but still got this. All right. Had a funniest story someone told in the Big Brother house. Oh, that is tough because I will say this, there was a lot of laughing in the house. There was a lot of laughing in the house. I mean, obviously Tucker told a lot of funny stories. Tucker definitely told a lot of funny stories in the house. So Quinn was really funny. Quinn told a lot of funny stories in the house. So I think the funniest story Quinn told was when they called him, and actually I think he said he quit his job. He turned in his apartment. He thought he was going to be Big Brother. Then they called him and said that they didn't want him anymore. And he was like, what? Oh my God. But then they ended up calling him back, which was awesome. So Daily 20, thank you. I appreciate you thinking I'm awesome. I think I'm pretty awesome too. Not all the time. Definitely not perfect. Who got on your nerves the most? Probably off and on. Obviously Angela, because she put me on the block week 1, so it's an easy say for me. But Angela was also super nice to me too. Going into week 3, Angela did amazing things trying to, keep my head in the game and keep me wanting to stay, because obviously she knew that it would benefit her if I stayed in the game. I wouldn't say really anybody really got on my nerves. So I really liked everybody. So Robina talked a lot. I love her. Robina says I yelled at her one night because she was so loud in the kitchen when I was trying to sleep, but that's false. That's false. And for Robina or Tucker or anybody's watching, that's false. What surprised you most watching back? Chelsea in the diary room was a savage. Chelsea played that game really, really good. Chelsea is probably going to go down as one of the best players in BB history. She was sweet, innocent in the house, and was super calm, cool, and collective. And in the diary room, she really let you have it. So pretty cool. I think that's amazing that someone can pull that off. So house wasn't that cold. You're asking if the house was cold. I didn't think it was cold. They did prepare us to say the house was going to be cold, but I didn't think it was cold at all. Some days it was cold. But I thought it was comfortable. I like it to be cold. What was my opinion of Lisa's edible glitter? It was my first experience with edible glitter. I really don't have an opinion on it. So, I really don't have an opinion on it, but if you do like edible glitter, go to her site, get her edible glitter. Lisa's a sweetheart. So, and I didn't try and vote her out on week 2. I voted to vote on Angela. Lisa knows that. So I was true to my word. Every time I told somebody something, I was true to my word. So, so again, I'm wrapping up here in 3 minutes. Big Brother casting is in full effect. Season 27. Let's go. Get your videos made. If you were looking for a sign to get a video made, then this was your sign that you came across Sweet Kenny K on live TikTok this afternoon while he was waiting for his daughter to finish gymnastics. This is your sign right here. Look, now casting Big Brother. Go online, make your video. It's super, super simple. It's super simple. If I could do it, you could do it. It's easy peasy to do. Again, be yourself, do your best, and just try and make an impression. Tell a good story. Tell a good story. Think of a story. Think about something in your life, whether it was sad, happy, funny. Think of a story and, you know, get it down and tell it really good without and ha and I think and I'm not sure, and keep it upbeat. You know, even if it was something shitty in your life, be like, hey, this shitty thing happened to me, but now look at me. I'm right here. I'm applying for season 27. You know, I shit the bed in season 26, people, but I need another do. I need another redo. Let's go. You know, cast Sweet Kenny K, Big Brother 27. I don't want someone to clip this, but you get my point. That's what you got to do, right? That's what you got to do. You got to, you know, get into the camera, look at it, act like it's a person, not a camera, and let them know you're trying to convince that person. So, that's what I say. So, and I appreciate everybody that gave hearts and gifts and stuff like that. I really don't do that for this, and I appreciate it. If you are not following me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. Even if you don't use Instagram, I need Instagram followers. If there's any chance of me being on Traders, I need Instagram followers. So tell your mother, tell your brother, tell your father, grandparents. If your grandparents don't have an Instagram account, do me a favor, make an Instagram account for them and follow Sweet Kenny K. It will be greatly appreciated. And I love each and every one of you that come up to me and tell me that I was one of their favorites on the show, or you liked watching me. I even appreciate the people who tell me that I sucked, because I did. When it comes down to it, I know the reality of it. I did my best, but I could have did better. I coulda, woulda, shoulda, did better. And you know, I'm looking young today on camera. I got these new glasses at Ocean State Job Lot. I'm not being paid by them, so it's not an endorsement in any way, shape, or form. But again, I'm looking young. Wow. Renee is one lucky girl. All right, guys. Peace out. I got to get Savannah. Good luck on your videos. Thank you for watching.